be a great Pokemon master like I do, then you gotta get to the Pokemon 2000 Stadium Tour, coming to your town soon!
You can compete for official Nintendo trainer badges and be one of the first to try the brand new Pokemon Stadium game for N64.
No. Hey guys, it's Cody, and welcome back to Every Pokémon Ever. Last time I might have mentioned that I wanted to cover the Generation 1 event Pokémon. These are special distributions that happened back in the 90s. While Pokémon DLC has evolved over the years into a point where you can just sit around in your underwear and plug in a DLC code that you bought on eBay, back in the day, Pokémon events were a huge deal. There weren't really that many games that had DLC even, and the internet sounded like this. So you had to actually physically go to a location to get the event Pokémon. Most original cartridges with these Pokémon on them have lost their save data due to corrupted batteries, but there's a really cool group of people online who have tried to preserve this important piece of Pokémon history. Let's dive into the earliest events in the Pokémon franchise. As a quick side note before we get started, I will not be covering the Japanese event Pokémon today. Don't get me wrong at all, I love Japan, especially as it's the birthplace of Pikachu, Hello Kitty, and sushi. But I once visited a sushi bar and attempted my best Japanese while ordering, and I received a less than appetizing meal. Because of this, I need to practice before I tackle anything Japanese. In Nintendo Power, every so often they would release a special Pokemon-themed magazine called Pokémon Power. There are 6 magazines in total. I still have 3 of them lying around. I had this Zubat once upon a time.
These days, everyone's trying to catch Nintendo's Pokémon. So catch a Pokémon beanbag for only $4.99.
And I opened up one just for kicks and giggles. Inside, I found a giveaway form that you can enter to win a Mew, and look at that! I never even sent it in. What was I doing?
How can I help it if I think you're funny when you're mad? Trying hard not to smile, though I feel bad. I'm the kind of guy who laughs at a funeral, can't understand what I mean.
My sense of disturbance and remorse.
To wear my mind on my sleeve. I have a history of losing my shirt. It's been 1 week since you looked at me.
Apparently in 1999, I did not have my priorities straight. I never even sent it in. I had a chance to get a Mew. I could have been one of these lucky winners, and I didn't even try. Oh my gosh. That's embarrassing. The OT of this first Pokemon was, woohoo, it's me, Mario! Next up, we have the Poké Tour Mew, available September 18th, 1999 to Australian players. I know, right? You could just go download a Mew instead of chasing around the Amazon Prime guy like I did a couple videos ago. Ay. Anyway, there were 2 separate tours, and you had to choose which one you wanted to go to, the red tour or the blue tour. There was also a little contest where some players were selected to mail in their cartridges to Nintendo Australia, and they put the Mew on there for you. This Mew has an OT of NAL or AUS, and it can be any ID number. At the event, they were distributed via a special machine called a Mew Machine. This would essentially create a Mew in an empty slot of your party. I have a lot of questions about these Mew Machines and how they work. Nobody seems to know, but we'll get to that in a little bit. Poké Tour 99 also boasted some pretty cool merch, like shirts, cool little bags, and even a Pokemon trading card of Pikachu with a stamp that read Poké Tour 1999. That's pretty awesome. The next event Pokemon was the Nintendo Power Pikachu. This was a promotion through the magazine Nintendo Power. I was a huge Nintendo Power fan. I had like every issue. I sold away my whole collection a little while ago, but man, I always entered these contests and I never won anything. I did get my envelope featured in one though, but it had to be in the crease. I see how it is. Hey Mom, I'm a Nintendo Centerfold model. But anyway, this promotion chose 1,000 random subscribers to give away a surfing Pikachu. That's right, you can skip the whole Pokemon Stadium run. I don't want to talk about Pokemon Stadium ever again. And if you somehow notified them that you didn't have a cartridge, you'd get a t-shirt. That seems like a heck of a deal. Anyway, so this Pikachu had the OT Nin10, and it could once again be any ID number. Next up, I'm not joking, we have the Pokemon League Nintendo Training Tour 99 Mew. That's a mouthful. This Pokemon was handed out at this crazy event, which was a huge conglomerate of players battling each other, testing out new games like Pokemon Yellow, Pokemon Snap, and it went throughout the US to several malls. This Mew had an OT of Yoshi RA or Yoshi RB and was distributed once again via the Mew Machines. The preservation of this one's pretty awesome. There's a guy called Insane Nutter on digix.net, and he's restored a working cartridge ROM from this dataset. This includes these special Mews, so if you want to, you could transfer the Mew from this to your ROM of Pokemon Red version and almost feel like you're actually at the mall in 1999. God, I miss that. As I'm scanning through threads about these old events, one name keeps popping up: Jeremy Hepworth. It appears he worked at Nintendo of America at the time, and he was a representative at many of these events. Very interesting.
Don't ask me. Call for Nintendo Power. Operators are standing by and the call is free. Subscribe now.
Next up, we have the Nintendo Power Mew. It pretty much mimics their Pikachu giveaway from before. The Nintendo Power magazine chose 1,000 lucky winners to get this Mew, which looks exactly the same as the Training Tour Mew, Yoshi RA or Yoshi RB. Also, sometimes when Nintendo returned cartridges via the mail, they put a cool little sticker on the back with a Mew and the trainer ID. I wish I had one of these. This next one is something that I remember as a kid. It's a US Toys R Us Mew. The first 1,500 customers at each Toys R Us store around the US would receive a special scratch-off ticket. That's right, at the time they were really trying to instill gambling in young children. But anyway, if your Mew said "Caught Me" underneath of its scratch-off, you could then take your sticker to the attendant and they download Mew onto your game. About 140,000 of these Mews were distributed to the US. And an inclusion in the trainer name included Yoshi BA and Yoshi BB on top of Yoshi RA and Yoshi RB. What is with this BBBARA? Wow. I want to once again leave a huge shout out to Insane Nutter on digix.net. Since he posted all of the save files of as many event Pokemon as he could find, I was actually successfully able to transfer one of these old Eventmon from the save files to my current copy of Pokemon Red. That is quite the accomplishment. Thanks a lot. Anyway, to sum up the next event Pokemon, this also happened in Canada. Speaking of Canada, did you know that I performed the Pokemon Journey's theme song with Canadian band Walk Off the Earth? It is so amazing, I can't believe it really happened. You should go give it a watch after this.
Make sure you bring your own Game Boy and Game Pack because we're giving away the rarest Pokemon of all, Mew.
You might even see Pikachu there.
Then we had the Pokemon 2000 Stadium Tour. The Mew Machines were back, and this time they came with a certificate of authenticity with your Pokemon's ID number written on it by an attendant. The trainer name for this one will be Link E, Link W, Luigi E, Luigi W, Waluigi? Wow! From what I'm reading online, this event was absolutely nuts! They had everything there. From physical badges you could win by competing in the card game, to flyers, trophies, even a literal Pikachu Volkswagen Bug with a ton of goodies hiding in its trunk. You could play Pokemon Snap in the back of a car. That's so cool! While I'm reading through stuff about this old event, one name pops up again: Jeremy Hepworth. A quick Google search does absolutely nothing to help me out, but his name is popping up all over these old stories and threads. I think it's about time I used my F-list celebrity status to try to find a way to get a hold of this guy. And guess what? I did. What you're about to see is an exclusive phone call I had with the man, the myth, the legend who was there for these early Pokemon distribution events. I also want to try to get to the bottom of those Mew machines. Many people think there was a Super Game Boy, Super Nintendo combination with a souped up red cartridge that had a bunch of Mews on the file that just traded them to your game. I don't know though, other things I read said that if you have an empty slot in your party, it'll just appear there without having to trade a Pokemon back. We're gonna dive into all of that in 1 second. But first, as much as I hate ads, but this isn't really an ad, I want to announce our newly developed Patreon page. If you join in for the bare minimum on our Every Game Ever page, you'll get cool exclusive videos, access to merch, and more. As for this video, I'll just summarize the information that's helpful to the task at hand. Enjoy.
Hello?
Hey, is this Jeremy?
And who's this?
Hey, Cody Burns here, you know, bona fide actor, Pokemon master, all that jazz. How are you doing, man? Thank you so much for taking our call today.
Sure.
So, take me back in time. I want to go back to the earliest days of the Pokemon distribution events. What was it like back then?
Yeah, that was like back in like '99.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was kind of one of the guys that ended up getting kind of dedicated to the Pokemon IP for a little while.
Right.
And, you know, just anytime those events came up, I would usually get called.
That's really cool.
That is held up.
So part of the reason for us calling today is these Mew machines that keep popping up on all of these posts. So Mew machines, what are they exactly? I know it's a flashback.
I feel old.
Yeah.
20 years ago. Oh my goodness. Yeah. No, yeah, we had these They were actually special machines.
Yeah.
That were loaded up with a certain number of Mew characters on them.
Okay.
And each Mew that was given away had like a number. Like a little ID number, and we used to give away like these little certificates of authenticity.
Right.
With Mew, with like what the ID number was. It wasn't, and the thing was like the ID numbers weren't like that fancy at all.
Okay.
It was just like a number.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, so it was like the number that was given out from that machine and stuff. Yeah. No, it was hilarious. It was great. But they were, how they worked is you had to connect your Game Boy up to it like you were going to be doing a trade.
Right.
But what it did is, you had to have like an empty slot in your party.
So did you have to trade a Pokemon, or would it just like arrive in your party somehow?
It would arrive in your party. Yeah, you had to have an empty slot.
Okay.
In the party for Mew to go.
All right.
In there, but it was just like hooked up, and I mean, I think it was just even like a modified Game Link cable.
Okay.
That we used.
So there was no way there was like a Super Nintendo Super Game Boy apparatus kind of stuck inside of the shell in any way?
No.
No. Okay, so the screen just was able to get that to pop up somehow. Okay.
No, it was like a dedicated like machine.
Wow. Okay.
That they threw together. That was really cool.
Wow, that really that disproves a lot of the theories I'm reading online. That's very interesting. All right. Did it have like a cartridge for it specifically, or no?
You know, I don't recall there being a cartridge for it.
Yeah.
Because the machines themselves were trying to think of like a comparative size for you. It actually kind of resembled like nowadays you can go to like I don't know, like the stores and buy like those mini arcade setups.
Right. Yep.
You know, and it was basically it was a little bit smaller than that.
Oh, okay.
So,
okay.
Yeah, it was just like this big stand-up kind of station.
I do know. I think it said online they reused these for the next generation, like the Celebi machines. After that,
probably
later on they like reskinned them or something. And
I'm sure that's what they ended up doing.
Yeah. So now the $1 million question. Do you have any idea where the Mew machines are? Can we go find them and bring them out into the public?
Yeah.
Does anybody know? Did they destroy them?
Those machines, there's a good chance that they are sitting in some storage
there you go.
Yeah, with other stuff stacked on top and long forgotten.
Well, sweet.
We used to, we used to go in every once in a while and clean up like the overflow rooms.
Right.
You know, they just had all kinds of random promo stuff in it.
Okay, how do I get a job at Nintendo today? That must be pretty cool to step into there,
Yeah, it was pretty wild. It was always a lot of fun to kind of go back in there because, there'd just be like the random one-off stuff that they would put into like, different events and stuff like that.
Right.
So we find all kinds of, crazy stuff in there. And as long as it wasn't, an actual like big machine or stuff like that, like a lot of it would end up just getting sold.
Yeah.
To the employees. They do like a once a year kind of like clean out.
So some Nintendo employees possibly might have one just sitting around, or probably not. Could just be in storage or something.
Yeah. I mean, if they do still have it, like I said, it's probably sitting forgotten somewhere.
Okay, well, there you go.
They didn't. There wasn't too much of a priority on tracking all that stuff back in the day.
Right.
It was just kind of like, hey, let's throw it in here, maybe we'll use it later.
What are some of the like rarest items that you can think of from the event days? Like for those collectors out there, what are some of the rarest things that they can find?
When Pokemon first started, I mean, it was, obviously it was big in Japan. and exploded there, but they weren't really too sure if it was going to translate.
Right.
And so they're like, okay, well, we're going to do, just kind of this promo with the Volkswagen car, the new Beetle.
Right, I see a Pikachu, yeah.
And so they did like this event. They had these Pikachus that were chucked out of a helicopter with little parachutes.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
A Pikachu that fell from a helicopter. Oh, man.
Yeah, if you can find one of those Pikachus, that's something special there, yeah.
I'll definitely look into that.
Parachutes and stuff were just awesome. But
that's crazy.
Yeah, they did that. We actually started the tour with Wizards of the Coast to promote the card game.
Right.
Yeah, here's the video game. Just kind of an aside.
Yeah, but not.
So we go to our first event down in Miami, and it's at this mall, and I think we were expecting maybe a few thousand people.
Right.
Like for the whole weekend, I think the first day we had like 7,000.
Oh my gosh.
That first day that the mall almost got shut down.
Wow.
Because of overcapacity.
Wow.
We went through like all of our product that first day. Because and this was like product that was set up for like another stock for like the next week.
Right.
And I can remember that morning they were talking like, we're not going to have anything for tomorrow. So they had to like drop ship overnight.
Geez, yeah.
A bunch of extra promos.
Yeah, wow.
For Sunday. Yeah, that was wild.
That's crazy. And it's continued.
It didn't stop, man. It didn't stop.
Never
stopped. It just got bigger and bigger.
Yep.
Every stop we had, it was just unreal.
That's nuts.
Unreal. Yeah. So much fun though.
Well, Jeremy, I really honestly thank you for talking to me at all about any of this, man. Thanks a lot for your time.
Yeah, no problem, man.
All right.
Good day.
Thank you. Bye.
All right.
So it turns out the internals of the Mew Machines are actually a little bit different than we thought. They might not house a Super Game Boy, and they might be sitting around a Nintendo storage unit somewhere. But don't worry, Nintendo, I won't dispatch a team to go find them. Yet. While your storage warehouses are probably a treasure trove to nostalgic fans like me, they're better left kept in secret. Also, hearing about those special Pikachus that flew down on parachutes from a plane, oh my gosh, there's my new holy grail item. Somebody has to find these and then give it to me for telling you about it. Actually, better yet, find two! Somebody find two of these! Anyway, let's pull it together and get back to our list of event Pokemon. The Pokemon Stadium Tour 2000 also stopped at one location in Alberta, Canada. This Mew was unique in that its OT was either Luigi C or Yoshi C.
On the queue, you're gonna need a hand from your Pikachu! Pikachu!
Next up, we have the Nintendo Official Magazine Tour for Ireland. The Nintendo Official Magazine is kind of like Nintendo Power, just a little different, and this Mew tour stopped by several public centers throughout Ireland. The OT of this Pokemon was UK, and it also appears to have been distributed using special machines. Also has a fun little tidbit, that was in fact English comedy duo Ant and Dec in the intro video. They were oddly tied to this event, even appearing next to this terrifying chicken leg Pikachu. It's okay kids, chicken leg Pikachu won't hurt you. I hope. There are also several stickers and cards available at this event, but there's not much more information on these.
I hear a story once again. I'll try to get our family tries to comprehend.
On May 20th, 2000, there was something called the N64 Ultimate Gamers Tour. This is where Canadian Nintendo fans could visit these events and try out new N64 games like Perfect Dark. One of the distribution prizes was a Mew at these events. This Mew's OT was Yoshi BB. Then we move on to the Mews Flash Mew. Mews Flash Mew. Mews Flash Mew. Mews Flash. Mews Flash Mew. This Mew was only distributed on May 27th, 2000 at the Blue Water Shopping Centre in Kent, England. Funnily enough, the name of the Blue Water Shopping Centre was changed to Mew Water for the day. That's awesome! The OT of this Mew was UK.
Contra un amigo que también estaba conmigo, que entrenó todos estos últimos días.
On July 14th, 2000, there was a Pokemon tournament held in Madrid, Spain. There was a special Pokemon distributed there as well, with the OT Europe or DJ. Interestingly enough, this Mew was actually kinda unique. It had different IVs than the Mews that we've been seeing so far. This event was one of many pre-qualifiers for the Pokemon World Champion event that would take place later that year in Sydney, Australia.
Nous voici de retour à Paris, porte de Versailles, où avait lieu cet été la finale française du Pokémon
This
Champion.
one has very little information on it. It's a France Pokemon Tournament Mew. Evidently, the Pokemon Tournament happened at the Paris Expo Porte de Versailles in Paris, France on July 1st, 2000. There's a sample of the certificate of authenticity for this event floating around the internet. Holy late 90s Batman, that electric background clip art, oh my gosh. And there's just not much more info on this Mew, including its OT. I mean, I'd be willing to bet that it's Europe, as this was a pre-qualifier for the World Championship and many others had that OT, but no one knows for sure.
Des shoppings Cora Châtelineau et la Louvière.
Les 26, 28, 29 et 30 juin, c'est la braderie des shoppings Cora Châtelineau et la Louvière.
Cora Châtelineau is a popular store brand in Belgium, and I'm really not able to find anything on this event. I have searched endlessly and there's just nothing. I'm sure this was handed out as a one-off kind of thing in the mall, but it's really strange that it had a unique trainer ID. The OT for this one was Benelux.
Nachdem sie sich übers Internet auf einer Pokémon-Seite kennengelernt haben.
On July 15th, 2000, the UK and Ireland held a joint Pokemon tournament. Once again, there were Mews distributed and they had the OT UK. Am I having deja vu or have we done this before? Austria apparently had a distribution event as well. There's not a lot of information about it, but some people have stated that they got a Mew from the Jippetoy at the Gurrengrass shopping center in Vienna. The OT of this Mew is claimed to be Austria.
Den Weg nach Sydney. Mit berühmten Londoner Sehenswürdigkeiten im Hintergrund versammelten sich die Teilnehmer heiß auf Pokémon-Action.
At the European finals of the Nintendo Pokémon Championship, there was an exhibition put on at the Millenium Dome from September 1st to September 3rd, 2000. Of course, once again, surprise, surprise, there was a special Mew distributed at this event.
Und los geht's. Im ersten Match tritt Großbritannien gegen Belgien an.
So I want to give a big shout out to YouTube user MewIsMe700 for info on this. She actually posted a video just a little while ago as I was still conglomerating information, so that's really cool. The Pokemon World Championship was straight up bananas. This event happened at Pokemon Park, a makeshift setup in Sydney that lasted more than 12 days. Not the theme park in Japan, although that place is pretty awesome too. It started off with a massive week-long escapade with a literal Pokemon ship entering Sydney Harbor and beginning a crazy battle with Pikachu, Team Rocket, and a Charmander that lit up with real flames. This was insane! It's better than the entire stage play of Pokemon Live.
It's okay.
Let's not talk about that though. It even boasted a real cannon and erupted into fireworks at the end. If I ever invent a time machine, this is gonna be stop number 1. This event was also the first footage that I could find of the famed Pikachu bus. This was stated to accompany those VW bugs around the world, but I haven't really seen a picture of it until now. Maybe we'll put the Pikachu bus's collectability right next to those Pikachu parachutes from Poké Tour 99. Another big draw from this event were these awesome pin sets featuring all 151 Pokemon. You would have to buy a ton of packs to catch them all. I actually have one of these pin sets in my collection, and now I feel like I need a little bit more. There goes my wallet. Now we're getting into the good stuff. You guys know that I loved Club Nintendo. We aren't talking about that Club Nintendo this time. It turns out that in certain parts of Europe, Nintendo fans could actually subscribe to a magazine titled Club Nintendo. It was basically a free version of Nintendo Power. You mean you didn't have to pay for a magazine? In one issue, they gave away a special Mew to players from Norway, Sweden, and Denmark. Funnily enough, in Norway, this tour actually cut off short because Nintendo Norway was actually instructed to return their Mew machines to Japan before a certain date, which was way before the tour even ended. Japan, huh? I'm starting to wonder if that's where the secret warehouse is. I'm putting this together, guys. I'm putting this together. Anyway, this Mew could have several names depending on where you got it. Europe, Norway, Finland, and Denmark. Norway also got its own Pokemon Tour on November 2nd, 2000. It was run by Peak Entertainment and probably used the same exact Mew machines that I just talked about. Thousands of Norwegian fans gathered together for the string of events, and activities included a live Pokemon performance, a Pokemon Stadium tournament, and even yet another terrifying Pikachu mascot. this time in egg form. Another thing I found absolutely hilarious is that on the tour website, it says if you already have a Mew via the Missing No glitch or a cheat device, that the Mew machine would just delete your download automatically. I really doubt the technology existed there, but the fact that they threaten players with this on the official website is so funny. The OT of this one is Europe. Next, Finland got its turn for an exclusive Mew. It was organized by Club Nintendo, and 2,000 of these were distributed as a special gift. It took place at Tennispalatsi in Helsinki, Finland, and they also handed out different certificates of authenticity, much like the earlier ones, but a shade of yellow, it looks like. From their reports, they only actually handed out 1,400 Mews. There were still 600 left over by the time the event ended. Also, interestingly, if you mailed in your cartridge for this event, you had to have a weak Pokemon to trade, like Magikarp, so this might not have actually used the Mew machines like earlier events. The OT of this Pokemon was Finland.
I samarbete med BR Leksaker.
Much like the Norway Mew Tour, this time the Mew machines took a trip around Sweden for the Mew On Tour event. This was pretty much a continuation of that Norwegian tour run, but there's really not much more I can find about this event, unfortunately. Then we come to Christmas Present Mew. Who doesn't love Christmas? I love Christmas. That's my favorite holiday in the world. And what would be a better Christmas present in the early 2000s but your very own Mew? This was part of a special Christmas Time 2000 tour in Germany. Also part of a bigger event called Pokemania. Those who attended the Christmas festival will also get a unique Mew sticker. Another Mew popped up at a venue in Copenhagen, Denmark called the Far More and Born, or Father, Mother, and Child Festival on March 16, 2001. Born. What do you do with the O when it has a dash through it? I'm so language negligent, I'm sorry guys. Evidently there was also an inflatable Pichu that you could literally throw things at. Nice! I'm sure this was the predecessor to the many wonderful Pokemon inflatables to come. Oh boy. The next Mew wouldn't be seen until 2002, well into Gold and Silver's timeline. It involved an interesting PR stunt with the Club Nintendo magazine of Mexico. Online sources verified that the magazine office was lent both Mew machines and the newly repurposed Celebi machines for the event. Players who physically came to the Club Nintendo office with the magazine in hand would be granted either a Celebi or a Mew, and get to meet the staff. That sounds a little crazy to me, but it's a cool way to get readers excited. The OT of this Mew was Ash. This event marked the last known location of the Mew machines. If we're gonna solve this mystery, this might be a good place to start. There's one more event, and most people have heard of this one. On November 22nd, 2016, a Mew was distributed to players at Nintendo UK's Pokémon Festival. This happened at the Old Truman Brewery in London for just 5 hours. Tickets to this event were super limited, and this was given away as a celebration of Pokemon Sun and Moon. It could only be downloaded to the Virtual Console version of Red, Blue, and Yellow version. So if you recall my video on making a Mew in Virtual Console that can transfer to the Pokemon Bank, this is that same Mew. So if you're interested in how to do that, you should go check out that video next. And that's it guys, every single event distribution that we know of for Generation 1. I cannot believe how nostalgic and eye-opening this video has been for me. As a child of the 90s, I was living in this world of Pokemania, and I'm so sad I didn't attend any of these events back in the day. It warms my heart to know that the franchise has continued on its path, and I hope you all enjoyed this look back. Oh yeah, and for those Pokemon Stadium fans out there, don't worry. I've come to realize that the game made these huge events possible, and may have even been the reason that Pokemon evolved into what it is today. The ability to battle your Pokemon in 3D on the big screen for the entire world to see was mind-blowing at the time, and I respectfully return it to my collection where it belongs. Big thanks to Jeremy Hepworth once again, and I'll be heading off to find the Mew machines. Until next time, stay awesome, Pokemon fans.
Is Pikachu going to become the Furby of 1999?
Pretty much. There's certain pieces of toys. There's also another toy. If you want to be a Pokemon master and your kids are going to want it, you have to have a Pokedex. And this is by Tiger Toys, and this is like a Rolodex for every character you want to learn. Press any buttons on here, put in the code number of that Pokemon, you get to learn about it. Every one of these at Warner Brothers store and FAO Schwarz totally sold out.
Well, they're an absolute necessity, I imagine.
I think through the holidays, guaranteed, and I can probably guarantee you there's another year and a half to this craze. It hasn't even peaked yet.
In my opinion, parents should not let their kids watch Pokemon, play Pokemon, buy Pokemon cards, have anything whatsoever to do with Pokemon.
Every Pokémon Ever is 100% non-profit, by the fans for the fans, but there is a way that you can help out. We're supporting St. Jude Children's Hospital. Donate today and help end childhood cancer.